Hello everybody, it's Ashwin Rao. I hope you're doing well today, and I'm excited to give you a preview on a boot that I have long had interest in since the moment it was released about a year ago and is now available in Shell Cordovan from the Horween Tannery. This is the Grant Stone brass boot in Maduro Shell Cordovan. I'm going to pan in to give you a little bit of a perspective of this beautiful boot in Maduro Shell Cordovan. So what inspired me to pick up this boot? Alden, the shoe company, collaborates with the Horween Tannery to release certain colors of shell in limited numbers. However, those limitations really drive up the price of shell, and one of the types that I've had a long-term interest in was Cigar Shell Cordovan, and specifically a Cigar Shell Indy boot. For those of you who don't know, the Indy boot is a moccasin toe boot, kind of made legendary by Indiana Jones. And so Grant Stone has followed suit and released a number of limited release Shell Cordovans that are not as commonly available. And one of them is this dark cognac, or Maduro Shell Cordovan. Grant Stone's name is Maduro Shell, but this is really a dark cognac color, which is very similar to Cigar Shell from all that I had gathered, enough that at the price that this was selling at, I figured it was worth, one, exploring the brand Grant Stone and all the hype behind it, and two, having a chance to experience something that was akin to a rare shell, and that was the Maduro Shell Cordovan. In hand, this is a really beautiful boot. I wanted to bring you in a little bit more detail. As you can see, beautifully done apron here that's probably a hand-sewn apron from what I can tell. It's got a 360-degree storm welt all the way around, so really good in tough weather circumstances. You can see the heel counter in the back, the reinforced stitching that helps with the heel stiffener, which you can see there. The triple row of stitches on the front of the facing. 5 antique brass eyelets, 2 speed hooks, pretty robust speed hooks. Essentially a slightly antiqued edge, and Grant Stone's lug commando sole. So that is the brass boot. This is a boot that has a moccasin that's a little different than other moccasins, in that the edge of the moccasin is pulled in more towards the center of the shoe than, say, the Alden Indy or other moccasins. It has either huge fans or some detractors. I personally think it's a really cool look, and from everything I've seen and heard, once broken in, it makes for a really beautiful boot. The Grant Stone brass boot, Maduro Shell Cordovan, effectively very similar to Cigar Shell Cordovan, really a dark cognac in the Horween nomenclature. A last look at the details as I pull in, just to give you a little perspective of some of the stitches, which is done very cleanly from what I can tell. Very excited to wear these pair as the weather starts to change, see what we can do. Have a good one, everybody. We'll have an official review down the road. Have a good one.